Hey kiddos, this is Ronin120 with a walkthrough and commentary video for Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Today we're playing the classified intel acquisition side-op on hard, earning the S rank, and exfiltrating the two special soldiers found on this mission. Special soldiers and POWs extracted from Ground Zeroes become part of your staff at Mother Base in the Phantom Pain, so it's always a good idea to get them when you can. We're going to stay in the truck for a little while longer, not all the way for the infiltration, but we'll get out closer to the POW camp, sort of between the two wooden watchtowers. On the way there, try to mark the Marines I'm marking, it'll help you out later. Look down this road and mark him. Go prone at that point. I'm using Kaz's monologue as cues when to duck and when to exit. The truck's going to brake a little. That's your cue to zoom in and mark the next Marine. He's the one who'll spot you and go all reflex mode if you're just crouched. This guy right here. Here's your cue to get out. And mark this Marine in the watchtower. And we'll backtrack a little on foot. You don't need to mark this guy, just be aware that he's going to be aware of your presence.
After identifying the target, approach him and grab him. That's the contact sign. Just make sure you wait until there aren't any other soldiers around.
And I'd like to go down a little bit further to get some distance between myself and the Marines. Remember, on hard mode, the Marines are much more aware of your presence from a further distance. Between these tents, and look down here. And there's our first target, the agent. You can drop him from here, but I'm going to get a little closer. While we're waiting, let's mark the Marine in that metal watchtower. Here we go. Oops. So we're only going to deal with a few Marines, so headshots are not that critical. So if you're not feeling your headshot game, just switch to aiming center mass. I'm going to pick this guy up, throw him over the fence, because there's no gate around here. Make our way past the POW camp, and head to the landing zone over there. Be mindful of the Marine up the road, and apparently there's one behind us too.
Please select a landing zone. Landing zone confirmed.
Roger that chopper request. It's headed your way now.
There's only one Marine patrolling the POW camp. Go ahead and mark him. We'll need to know what he's up to later. Don't sprint or do anything crazy until that you see that he's turned away. And there's going to be a point where he's not going to have a line of sight anyway, so then you can sprint. Now, I don't think it's necessary to wake him up and CQC him. You could probably just put him in the chopper, because we're not going up to the tape in the watchtower anyways, and it's there whether you talk to him or not. We need just at least one of the tapes to clear the mission, and the bald soldier has it anyways.
It's marked on your map. This is Marco. On station at LZ.
Alright, pop quiz time. Do you know where the bald soldier is? The boiler room, right? Well, he's going to change position. So, where does he end up? Like I said, if you play this side op infiltration style, the bald soldier hangs out in the boiler room, but he doesn't stay there the entire mission. So I started the gameplay, went in there infiltration style, got into the boiler room, marked the bald soldier, kept the mark on him to keep track of him. He stays in the boiler room until you make contact with the agent. Then he makes his way up and out of the admin building, walks through the helipads, past the metal watchtower, then patrols the row of long buildings between the refugee camp, sort of like in the south center area of the camp. So that's where we're heading to next. Crawl for sneaking and timing purposes. The bald soldier is taking his time to get to his position, so we can take our time to get to our position. You can mark him if you like, or just ignore him. I don't think he matters much. Our main concern is the guy in the metal watchtower. I'm entering through that gate, but there is a gate to the left. I'm going to exit through the gate on the left. I haven't tried entering through there. If you try it out, let me know how it works out for you. I'm going to make my way around, take up a position. There's another Marine who patrols this area. Drop him, use him as bait. There he is. If you pop out right now, he might go all reflex mode, but it'll turn slightly. There. And Watchtower got a little suspicious. And that's the voice of our target. There he is. My headshot game is not working for me today, so I'm just going center mass. So when Watchtower mellows out, he'll resume his normal patrol. And see how he's looking away right now? That's a good time to fetch Baldy. And he's always watching us. But wait, there's that gate right behind us. Even though he got suspicious and called it in, since we're on our way out, we're not going to stick around for long. Just mind the watchtowers, that metal one and that wooden one. I've tried to tranquilize the guy in the wooden watchtower, but guys patrolling the grounds seem to see that he's knocked out and will wake him back up. Speaking of Marines patrolling the ground, there's so many obstructions like tents and tarp that you should be able to avoid them entirely. Especially since the one that patrols here, he goes clockwise, and so you got quite a berth to make it through here without him even coming close to you. Now you're mostly clear, but don't rush through this next section. Remember that Marine who's by himself in the POW camp. If you're sprinting, he will spot you. So just go low and slow, get to the landing zone, wake up and interrogate the bald soldier, put him on the chopper, and you're done. For today's comments, let's discuss the no thanks list. Last time I played the CIA side op, we talked about our wish list, but what are some of the features you've heard about in the Phantom Pain that you won't use or wish weren't even there? Anything that's optional shouldn't be a big problem. Reflex mode, auto aim, whatever you don't like, you can turn it off and no problem, right? There's been some hubbub about microtransactions, but then again, it's an option, and I won't use that option. I think Konami has released a statement assuring that there's no pay-to-win possibility with the microtransactions, so I think it'll be fine. My biggest concern would be how it impacts the FOB infiltrations. Could a player just beef up his security early on by paying money? If that's the case, then I suppose the balance would come from matchmaking. So that means I won't be able to infiltrate an FOB that has several layers of security way above me or way below me. That seems pretty fair, right? And I doubt they do this, but I wonder if there's a way that they'd indicate, which players have used microtransactions. That way I can avoid them altogether. Or maybe I should go about it the other way. Instead of avoiding the payer players, I should probably just target them exclusively and infiltrate the FOB that they paid so much money to try to protect. This is why I doubt there'll be a distinction between paying and non-paying players, so I guess the matchmaking would be the level playing field. Well, here's the score screen. No alerts, kills, retries, or reflex mode. Bonus for the classified intel recovered. You'll only need one tape to clear the mission, and honestly, I think the secret tape is easier to get. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and share please and thank you. See you next time, kiddos.